What's going on, guys? You should be able to hear me. I'll give it a couple of seconds. My overlay is kind of where I want it at, but not exactly, so I'll be working on that in the near future. Let me know what you guys think of it. I'm tired of trying to do it. Tired of trying to get a modified one just because I am so dispersed I never get it done. Hope everybody's doing good today, by the way. Welcome to the Lore Reloaded. Always fun to see every one of you guys here, assuming any of you show up. So, I'm really just going to be laid back a little bit and have conversations, whatever you guys want to talk about. You know, we'll keep it relaxed, just on the low key, and go from there. One of the things I did, if you were looking in my community tab, for those who actually go to the YouTube channel or get those updates, I asked if you guys would be interested in me looking at videos and doing live responses to them. I'm still on the fence about that. But when I go back and I look through all of that information, I honestly just get a little sad. Because what really, honest to God, sells, it seems like, is to just outright hate everything that is Trek. Like, if you sincerely want to make any kind of large amount of headway, go anti-Trek. Now, I'd be interested if that's your guys' opinions, or if you think that's the way it is, because that's just the honest-to-God way it feels to me. I also accidentally exited out of the YouTube main place where I can see all of you lovely people, so I'm trying to get back there. Control room is what they call it these days. Yeah, there we go. Let me know if you're actually seeing this. I don't know if anybody's actually watching it or if it's went out or anything like that. I'm also doing it at 9 on a Tuesday, so maybe everybody's asleep. I don't know. Or watching other stuff. But if you can see it, or if this is coming up, let me know. Seems like there may actually be an issue, or no one's interested. One or the other. Yeah, I'm getting it back. There we go. See if anybody is there or actually watching. I can see you, Lore, but can you see me? That is the big question that comes up, Dylan. Can I actually see you? Are you even there? Or are any of us? Can any of us be there, honestly? I don't know. It's 10 p.m. where I am. Live long and prosper. Well, you live long and prosper. You are live. I am live. That is an accurate way of taking a look at it. But I'd be curious about your guys' thoughts and where you what you think. Is it really just what people want? Because if I look up Star Trek Discovery or even Lower Decks or Picard, Lower Decks not as much, but Picard, it seems like now there are fewer and fewer of those videos, but it seems like if you want a lot of views, you should just go on and hate everything that is 2020 Trek. Or Disco Era Trek, as I like to call it. And that's just, it's sad, and it's almost pathetic, in my opinion. I wish Lower Decks was available in Australia. It's my understanding it's coming on Friday. So you should actually see it there by Friday. All I want to do is have some fun. And Medallion he's got the feeling he's not the, I hate you, Medallion. I hate you, but I hate you in a way that I love you. Hate and rate. That's exactly what it is. And I'm also curious, for those who are watching at the moment, would you be interested in actually doing live reviews of these videos? Because again, it's something that I could be interested in, but that also brings a whole lot of... it's just asking for the drama. Again, makes good for views, I just don't know if I want to have to deal with it. I don't hate Star Trek, I love the original ones mostly, but the new ones have more charm, says the 8th Doctor. You know, and that was one of the things I was looking at too. So I had a while back, I was actually watching the videos, and they didn't really have much depth to them when it came to why they didn't like them. they would say, oh, the main character's boring, or oh, the main character isn't something that I want to watch. But they don't add anything substantive. What about Michael is boring? Why is she written badly? What specifically is not engaging about her? Can you break it down for me? And it wasn't there. So I really gave up on it and generally just take swipes here and there. I go back to see maybe they've evolved, maybe something has gone on, and there's still nothing there. It's still just the same thing. Denzel, did you get my letter, by the way? I responded and sent a letter back, but I never got. I had it read receipt, not read receipt. Oh my god, I had it like where it says it confirmed that he got it. I don't know if it is. If you're going to review the haters, lock phasers on target and load all quantum torpedoes. You say, Phantom Menace people have hundreds of thousands of subs, but bring in high thousand views. It depends on who you're watching. I would agree that a lot of them do that. There are a few that seem to get constant high numbers, but they're more in the top echelons generally, but that's with most channels too. Like I'd say my channel is pretty even killed, maybe a little bit pro. I almost have 100,000 subscribers and the loudest car outside God ever created, and only high thousands when you watch, but that can be normal. What's up? I already said that. If you're going to review the haters, I already said that. I really like the new Star Trek, not a fan of the JJ-verse, but I love Discovery, and my whole way of thinking, same with Star Trek Online, is as long as it doesn't contradict old shows, it's fine. Star Trek Online has, it has dinosaurs with lasers strapped to their head. Discovery went the way of Enterprise? Well, I'd have to know what you mean by Enterprise. I think Discovery's gotten a lot better, if that's what you mean. I think I didn't like the first season. Second season was better than first, but that's not saying much. And then third season I actually liked. First season was probably the most toxic I've ever seen. Is the most toxic. I'll say that is the most toxic. What's up, Lore? Tuning in from the United Kingdom. Gibraltar, specifically. What's up in Gibraltar? Could you make your video feed bigger in the future? The amount of moving effect is unsettling. What are you talking about? My video feed. You mean, what's this? Am I moving too much? I think because of my overwhelming appreciation for Captain Picard from TNG, I set my bar way too high. Picard is a good show, just not what I imagined. You know, it almost felt like a bait and switch to a degree. The first couple of episodes were not what all of the episodes were, you know, not even the main thrust of the main thrust of the series. So it was somewhat misleading. The sun never sets on the British Empire or Commonwealth. I think it does at this point, doesn't it? Enough places have broken off. I mean, they have lip service, but for the most part, they're not. I met this one dude who hates all of Star Trek and claims it's all full of social justice warrior stuff. That depends on what you would define as social justice warrior stuff. For me, social justice warrior is a pejorative. It's when you are doing something to pander, or you're doing something to look good, but not actually making any changes, any actual social justice. Even if people who use it are say them lily-livered liberals who want to, change all ways of life. It depends on how you want to look at it through the series, because most all the Legacy Trek did something similar to that. It's just a lot more accepted. I don't think it was as bad as Discovery Season 1 or 2 or Picard, but I still think it was there. No, Black Delegation. I won't. All of Star Trek's full of social justice warrior stuff. That's so funny I might cry. Well, we got 8th Doctor crying. That's always good. Discovery is trying to please too many groups. It is not Star Trek. So this is what I'm talking about, Calvin. If you can expand on that for me. What makes it not Trek? How is it not Star Trek specifically? What does it lack that the Next Generation has, or Deep Space Nine, or Voyager. I'd be very curious. Discovery's Trek, it's just a different kind of Trek in the same way TNG was different. You know, Maisie Summers, I think you may have been there. Me and Lore Runner online, we were talking online. We're discussing, and I think it may have been on his show, not mine. But when you look at the original series and then you look at the Next Generation, it was completely different. It was as if you were writing a new series. Seriously, it was. It's you had now serious Trek writing versus the campiness, if that makes sense. Social messages in classic Trek were more subtle. New Trek is ham-handed in its presentation. I completely agree, Axeman Titan. When they had the Nazi planet in the original series, that was so subtle. When they did the one that was about racism, and you had both guys like running with their hands flying in the air like this, and you saw the destruction of the planets, just so very, very subtle, as you can tell. When you had the planet that was full of African, well, I don't know if they're African Americans, persons of color, and they had the medicine, and they wouldn't let the white people have it. That was so subtle. Let's see what. One of the most subtle ones in DS9, when they went back in time and they actually used the Insular, which blew my mind, was subtle. Can you rate the Star Trek from best to worst? I could. TOS was subtle like a hammer about its social content. Yeah, the original series was really not subtle in the slightest. TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise got a lot better with it. Though all of them had in-your-face stuff, most TNG, Voyager, Enterprise, and DS9 was a lot more subtle. I'm giving a hard time. I got what you meant. The original series was not subtle, though, by any stretch. My favorite, I guess it would be DS9... Deep Space Nine, Lower Decks, The Next Generation, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery Season 3, the original series, the rest of the Picard, and then the rest of the Discovery seasons, I guess, is the way I'd do it. Actually subtle, men wearing skirt uniforms in TNG in Season 1. That, you know, I was giving you a hard time. I really was. There is subtlety to it. In TNG on, there was subtlety to it. I was joking a little bit there. You want the difference? It's accountability and positivity. Star Trek was about trying to be good, believing it was possible, and taking responsibility for your mistakes. Publicly speaking, I don't know how long you've been on this channel, my good friend, but we can break that down. Accountability and positivity for Star Trek and taking accountability. Was it taking accountability when our boy Trip was sexually assaulted and then they mocked him on the NX-01 Enterprise? Was that taking accountability? Oh man, wow, where to go, what to do. Was it taking accountability when they killed Tuvix off, just like in cold murder? There's all kinds of Dominion War stuff we could get into. Don't diss the kilt. Everybody loves kilts. No one's dissing the kilt, Matthew. You want to talk about positivity. I would argue that the Dominion... I think Discovery Season 3 was positive. I don't know. I don't know that there's any darkness. Can you go more into that? Because honestly, the more I think about it, the less... What specifically isn't positive about Disco Era Trek that we don't see in the others? How is it more negative? How do you feel about Captain Burn? It was the logical progression. You could kind of see they were going that way. It doesn't bother me now, at least when she does these things. It makes a little bit more sense. They probably should have went with it to begin with. Cisco used biogenic weapons, no accountability, did not get dressed down or just. That's true. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the. He nuked a planet and was going to nuke other planets, and they laughed about it. Yeah, man. There's quite a bit in there that you could look at. But again, Captain Burnham doesn't bug me all that much. I don't know. It's. I think that's where they were going. Tuvix was a man of many talents. Janeway hates talented people. It's true. It's true. Why is Burnham written to be an emotional superhero more than a character? I don't think she's meant to be an emotional. I don't think she's a superhero. She's fallible. She makes mistakes. People call her out. Season 3. Season 1 and Season 2, she's badly written. I'm not going to defend Season 1, Season 2 ever. She is kind of written to be a superhero there. I would agree with that. Season 3, I don't think so much. I think they fixed it. New Trek isn't just bad compared to old Trek. It's bad compared to other contemporary prestige serialized dramas. These shows are just badly written, cringy melodrama. Maybe I'm not understanding. Can you please go into what that is? New Trek isn't just bad compared to old Trek. It's bad compared to contemporary prestige serialized dramas. They're just badly written. What about them is badly written? Can you please point out an aspect of it that's badly written? I normally watch you, Lore number 2, and Major Grin / nitpicking nerd, so this is coming from there. This comes from one who has not seen TOS. I feel like I don't even want to watch New Trek. Have you ever watched a full episode of Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks? Yeah, Discovery, Picard, or Lower Decks. And then a follow-up question. Have you ever watched a complete season? It doesn't matter. See, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what Major Grin says. Doesn't matter what Nitpicking Nerd says. What matters is if you've actually looked into it yourself. Now, if you're going to say, well, that critic doesn't like it, and I like what that critic, I tend to agree with that critic, that's fair enough, but I'm willing to bet money if you give me a video, I could eviscerate it from Major Grin or Nitpicking Nerd. I'll bet you it's not the most charitable. Tuvix was messed up, but it was very much presented as messed up, and that kind of thing was the exception, not the rule. One is 10% bad, and the other is 90% bad. Yeah, can you walk me through? So you're saying every episode was basically a Tuvix? Can you elucidate on that for me? Wargamer 2099, I have answered that. I'm not sure if maybe you missed it, because I think you were the one to ask me that last time too. You did, and I did answer it. It's just whatever. They were moving that way. I think with her as the captain, her getting a lot of the screen time will make a lot more sense. Major Grin and Nitpicking Nerd are the same person. That's right. I'm sorry. I was thinking of what the hell is his name? I think I have him up right here. I can just do this. Nerdrotic. That's who I was thinking of. But you're right. Nitpicking Nerd is Major Grin. If there's a video on either of them, I'll bet you it's not charitable, though. Major Grin comes on my show. He may even be watching right now. I honestly don't think a lot of his critiques are charitable. Not a negative thing on him. I'm not saying he's bad. I don't think he's being fair. All I have to say is that I'm glad what happened to me with the Star Wars sequels didn't happen with Disco Era Trek. There was just so much BS and negativity around it that just turned me off. Well, I'm glad you didn't take any of that. There was a lot of negativity around Star Trek. It is very divisive. The Doctor from Voyager Living Witness appearing in Disco Season 4. I've heard that. I don't know how true it is. I don't know if it's from Living Witness. I think it's going to be the actual Doctor. I hope. I would be interested in seeing that. I'd love to see some Deep Space Nine characters. I don't think they're going to do it, and I don't know why. It seems like, for whatever reason, they don't want to have Deep Space Nine characters. And I honest to God, do not understand it. Discovery's story this season was not interesting. It was a shallow and odd premise that made little sense. neglected baby destroys warp cores across the universe. Why? The explanation given is weak. So there's a couple of things to that. First off, that's not the entirety of the episode, or the season. That was the thing they were building up to. It didn't land. I agree. I don't like the fact that it was due to basically an X-Men baby. I'll agree with you there. But there was quite a few things that they did discuss. First off, the fractured universe. How the Federation is now in emergency mode and more worried about defending itself. Earth has become isolationist and even given up on its colonies and is starting to rebuild. The Romulans and the Vulcans are now coming together and have created Navarre. That's some interesting storytelling there. You get to see the Trill and what's happened with them. And there's a little peek into the Emerald Chain, which now Starfleet isn't even the scientific juggernaut it was. It's the Emerald Chain that is, which I find is interesting. See, that was a very, I don't know if it was bad faith, but it definitively was not the whole story. And I'll ask you what I asked before. Have you actually watched the entire season of Discovery, of season 4? Or are you just doing the Cliff Notes? Living Witness is canon. It's not a matter if it's canon or not. I think it's just going to be the original Doctor. Such mixed emotions. So crappy, yet so not. Human Voth reunification. That would be dumb. I hope to God there's not a human Voth reunification. There is a great article that explains the burn written by 2 doctors up on StarTrek.com. I have never been impressed with StarTrek.com's articles. They, for World War II buffs, I find articles on StarTrek.com to be on par with Goebbels. I think Goebbels would be proud of what they saw. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. There are interesting side bits, but the main arc and the thrust of the story... I would argue that that's not even the thrust of the story. I would say that that's something that is continually said, but honestly, the thrust of the story is finding the Federation, seeing what's going on with Starfleet, and rebuilding. Could they have done it better? Absolutely. Was it rushed? Definitely. Did they bring up ideas and fix them within, 2 episodes? No doubt. But the thrust, I wouldn't say it's the thrust. Especially if you break down the times, they come up throughout various episodes, but they don't, the focus on the burn isn't as much as you think it would be. Laura, what's up? Did you see Nitpicking Nerd's video? He thinks that Section 31 could take place during the Romulan Earth War. I didn't watch that episode. I did see the title to it. I don't think so. Well, maybe. See, here's the thing. For Section 31 to work, for it to stay in line with Discovery, Georgiou either has to go back to her timeline, or she has to go back to not her timeline, I guess that makes sense, her universe, or she has to go back to the same time. Because when you time travel, you can either jump universes, or you can time travel, but you can't do both. And so I was trying to think if that would be during the Romulan Earth War. Maybe? I don't know. What's the Voth? In Voyager, the Voth are dinosaurs. The dinosaurs, I think, effectively what happened is the dinosaurs on Earth figured out how to do space technology and got off Earth before it was destroyed, and they're so much more powerful. I mean, they could defeat the Borg if they wanted to. That's how powerful they are. Yeah, descendants of the dinosaurs. And you want to talk about one-offs and bringing up stuff that doesn't make sense. Man, Voyager and Enterprise did that in spades. The Voth, you're talking about this powerful inhabitants of Earth, Earth-born inhabitants that are so much more powerful, and we see them once. Once. Really? One of the 2 doctors who wrote the article is a science consultant for Discovery, has a YouTube channel, and is a very kind person. I think if it's who you're thinking about, I follow someone who, I don't know if she has a YouTube channel, but she's the other 2 things. And she seems really nice. I mean, anyone's welcome. I'm not going to say it that way. There's quite a few people that I would welcome on the channel. One of my Star Trek Online alts is, you can be a Voth now? I didn't know that. We are living in a Trek mirror universe. That's why warp space technology is taking so long. That is. It's true. Who sent the well pro? Listen, Axeman. Things that make no sense and that just show up and that like whales fix it. We can't talk about that, man. Discovery sucks and brings up ideas and things that don't make any sense, that are fixed, with that doesn't seem logical. Don't bring that never happened in Legacy Trek, okay? So most of the original series movies we don't talk about, okay? Just Exne Uvime Arctre Oste? Sorry, I'm not good with French. I hope they don't stop the time travel stories. Those writers have a hard enough time doing good stories. I don't think they could pull off multiple time travel stories. I hope they stop the time travel. Well, is there any indication the Dominion were affected by the burn? They'd have to be. By the way, thank you so much. Where are the Klingons? Have they died out? Cedric Taylor, thanks for the support. I'll address that in a second. They would have had to been. They use warp cores. We know that the technology is based off warp technology, so unless they had some kind of super secret way of hiding it or shielding, I don't know. Where are the Klingons? I would have been interested to see the Klingons too, but you know they're doing so much. I'm kind of glad they didn't bring them in because seriously, the storytelling was way too quick. They'd been like, oh look, there's a Klingon. Hey, did you know that the Klingon Empire was split in two? On to the next adventure, boys. So I'd be interested if they bring up. I want to know what happened to the Klingon Empire. I'm kind of glad they didn't this season, so that they can slow down a little bit. TOS movies were the best Trek? No, they can't be. They can't be. TOS movies are kind of like on par with some of the Discovery writing. Can't do it. Stop. Hit the button. Edit it out. What about the rumors of Section 31 being a temporal Cold War time travel show? That'd be cool. It wouldn't fit in with continuity with Discovery if it has Georgiou in it. She couldn't do that unless that's like a part of it. She's killing herself to do this. I don't know how I feel about that. I honestly, I don't know that they could do it well. I don't know. Do you think they're going to bring back the Klingons? I hope they do. I don't know. Non-dilithium warp drives were unaffected by the burn. Well, of course. But a warp drive, by definition, utilizes dilithium, or it is a different kind of drive. Wouldn't be a warp drive. To my knowledge. Is there a type of warp drive we know doesn't use dilithium, though? Like, I'm pretty sure Dominion technology utilizes warp drive. I feel like they actually talked about that, and it's equated to Federation tech. I'd almost bet money. It's like phasers or disruptors. Like everybody has the technology, which kind of makes you believe that that's just like the technology that exists for it. I'd almost bet money. I'd have to go and look, but I would almost bet money on it. Romulan Dodera Dex? Yeah, that they don't have a warp drive. That's not a warp drive. The technology they use and the engine they use is not warp. It's not a warp drive. They literally use a singularity. I wish more classic Legacy Trek writers would write more episodes of Picard and Discovery. Sure. I asked this because the Dominion is 70 whatever light years away, so the burn might be galactic wide. I always took it that the burn was galactic wide, that it just hit everybody, but it was just a matter of time and how far out it got there. It's very much confirmed that the Dominion uses matter, antimatter, warp cores. Yeah, I would have bet money on it. The Borg, for instance, as far as we can tell, and I don't think there's anything that contradicts this, the Borg don't use warp drive. What the actual heck is David Cronenberg doing in the show? Why does he look, talk, and dress like a 21st century character? Thanks for the support, YouTube censor creators and commenters. You've seen, I think you said that you actually watched the entire series. That's just his character, the way his character interacts and works. I think his character is Section 31. I'd bet money on it. They even address why he's wearing glasses and everything. Seems like the only alternative source for warp is the Romulan singularity. That is actually not true. There's all kinds of different ways of travel, even before Discovery presented it. Jesse Gender in the house, my one and only waifu, who hates Star Trek. It's true. Jesse Gender, and I want all of you guys to go on Twitter and talk about this and do hashtag Fandom Menace. Jesse Gender, in fact, was one of the founders of the Fandom Menace. She can't stand Star Trek. I remember it was because it was kind of interesting. The first time I ever actually found Nerdrotic and Mecha Random, they were doing they were doing like a meetup, a YouTube meetup, and Jesse Gender, Mecha Random, and Nerdrotics were there. And ever since, those three have been tight as thieves. I look beautiful in purple. Well, thank you. I like purple. And Jesse Gender is actually, in true fact, dating Doomcop. So if you guys can say all of those things as much as possible in as many places as possible, I'd appreciate that. You don't need a dilithium-based warp core to generate a warp field. Okay, so first off, the Phoenix probably did have dilithium. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't make any sense. It is, and it's also matter, antimatter. It does actually require dilithium. There's nothing in canon. There's nothing in dialogue that leads you to believe. You can achieve warp or move at speeds of warp without a warp core, but a warp core by definition has to have dilithium. It would be like my car outside saying, "Oh, I have a car, and it has it's a combustion engine." It's like, oh, well, that must mean it doesn't have gas. Well, I mean, by definition, that it uses gas. It's a combustion engine. No, Matthew Spriggs. Okay, so tell me. Okay, let's answer. Okay, everybody be quiet. Matthew Spriggs, if you can answer a question for me. If they aren't vital, why did every ship blow up when the burn happened? Could a deuterium fusion power plant provide enough power for a warp drive? That has been the theory on how shuttles do it. In theory, what a lot of people have said, and I'm going to address your thing in a minute, Ryan. Thanks for the support. In theory, you just need enough power to make a warp drive. But generally, the warp core, or the matter-antimatter reactor, is what is the best and most efficient way. And that's why they're on ships and arguably not on space stations. Ryan Howe, it should be noted that the Borg does assimilate other technology, so there's no doubt that a lot of the Borg ships have matter-antimatter cores. I think that's flawed logic. Ryan, I'll disagree with you there, because they do assimilate a lot of different species, but they generally try not to go down in technology. They generally always try to take the best and remove the worst. There are some arguments that they have shield technology because of assimilations, which arguably could be worse than the subspace fields they had. But I don't think that they'd have matter-antimatter. Now, one thing that I would say, where was I going? I need to stop reading. In all seriousness, I was so sorry to hear about your dog. Oh, thank you. He's actually sleeping right now. For those who don't know, my dog got hit by a car, so my life has been just wonderful. Oh man, it's one of the cheapest experiences you'll ever have. Dog getting hit by the car, by the way. I don't know that the Phoenix was a fusion reactor. It's possible, and I don't know where else I was going. Thank you, Jesse Gender, for sending the love though. What was I talking about though? Oh, so one thing interesting about the Borg, there is a theory that the Borg, what happens is they'll get on a ship and they'll start assimilating it, and what they do is they take the ship and they turn the ship into what they need. So let's say they might assimilate, I don't know, Intrepid class ship, and they need a Borg cube. So they'll assimilate the Intrepid class ship and then just turn it into a Borg cube, build a superstructure on top of it. There's a little bit of evidence for that if you look in Regeneration, as well as the TNG episode where there was an unidentified ship that was, I think it was defending Lore. I can't be sure. But there's some evidence that may be the case, but we don't know for sure. If that is the case, then I think there may be a good argument that some Borg ships have matter-antimatter. It's just built on top of the superstructures of the vessels they have. but there's no definitives. That's how they build it. The Borg Type 3, yeah. There was one thing I was going to talk about. I forget where it was. Katwalski is a part of We Are Starfleet. Are you, Laura? I am not a part of We Are Starfleet. Jessie Ginder is, too. I would say. I don't know if she claims that. I don't even know if Katwalski would claim that. I think they're the great aspects of We Are Starfleet, if they are to be. I don't identify with We Are Starfleet, nor do I identify with Fandom Menace. If I had to choose one over the other, I would choose We Are Starfleet. Both have heavily, heavily toxic sides to them. I mean, unbelievably toxic elements to them. Generally, you'll find the most toxic Fandom Menace on YouTube and the most toxic We Are Starfleet on Twitter. But I generally like my ideas and my thoughts and my ideologies nuanced, and you can't do that if you are We Are Starfleet and you are Fandom Menace. And I'm going to take it back. Well, I think Jessie Ginder and Katwalski more align with We Are Starfleet. I would say they think for themselves, so I'd say they're aligned, but not actually a part of We Are Starfleet. If I had to do it, Jessie Ginder's here; she can talk for herself, obviously. Since we're dating, I think she'll tell me at some point too. We are the Dominion. That's true. That's true. We are the Dominion. By the way, thank you guys so much for the support. Only way I can keep the lights on is through support from viewers like you. Jesse, are you still here? If you're still here, I have a question. And Maisie, I'd be interested. Do you guys think I should do video breakdowns of what like Fandom Menace and We Are Starfleet have done and just give my take on it? I'm tempted to, but it's going to bring a lot of hate, and I just don't know that I want to deal with it. How do I feel about the Burns Origins? I'm not really a fan of it. That's a little bit too much X-Men in my Trek. Recently, Dominion has been trending on Twitter, and it's definitely the Dominion of Trek, not any other Dominion. Who else thought they would Doctor Who Picard into a different person with a body at the end so they could continue without Patrick? I hope to God they don't do that. That seems like a very, very bad idea. I really, really hope they either just go on with the crew or they end it, honestly. It's time for hyperdrive or fold space since it's time for hyperdrive or fold space. Spice. It's the spice. There is actually a fold space technology in Trek. I want to say it was in Voyager. They don't have hyperdrive, though. It's up to you. Breakdowns can be good, and you'll never please everyone. That's true. Can you point to any of the more well-known toxic elements of the We Are Starfleet? I've not noticed much. Certainly not compared with the Fandom Menace. Alex, I mean this in the nicest way. I think that you probably the bifocals you wear may have a tinge of rose-coloredness. I feel like if I was to talk about We Are Starfleet Twitter handles, you would disagree with me. Just like if a Fandom Menace person came on, I started pointing out Fandom Menace channels, they disagree with me. You've been with the channel for a while. I don't even mean that in a negative way. I just don't think you're going to agree with me. But as I said before, and I'll reiterate now, if I had to choose one side or the other, I would definitively go with We Are Starfleet over Fandom Menace. Definitively. I mean, without even hesitation. Both sides have epically toxic sides. But if I have to pick one dystopia, I'd rather live in a We Are Starfleet world than a Fandom Menace one. Even though I'd probably do better in a Fandom Menace personally. How come Riker didn't save the day in Discovery Season 3 finale, since he always saves the day in the season finales now? Because they didn't have their emergency Riker hologram ready. I mean, they definitely should have. But they didn't here. Laura, I like your opinions on Trek. I don't know who the sides are. Let's hear it, says no one. With the debate about the Byrne origin, it should be noted that there was a 2 Star Trek / X-Men crossover comics. Would you cover any crossover comics? I would. I've done comics before. It doesn't seem something like people are interested in. I'll put it on the burner if you're interested. I'll throw it on there. I'm not sure when I can get to it, but I'll definitely do it. The way to, of course, as you said, you can fund it by giving like this or become a patron or YouTube member. Self-check. Beta Canon says that a moon of Jupiter was discovered to have dilithium in 2049. I've heard that too. Don't do it. Stay out of sci-fi politics, says Cedric Taylor. I know, but the pull is strong, Cedric. The pull is strong. So for those who don't know, first off, oh my God, I wish I was you. I wish I could live in a world where I don't know about anything of this. The Fandom Menace, I actually have a video I did on this, quite a big one. I dress up and everything. I straight up nostalgia critiqued it. The Fandom Menace is a movement that started with Star Wars, for obvious reasons, and was a movement against what was perceived slights against legacy fans, as well as certain demographics, like white males and stuff like that. In the context I'm using it in, it is specific channels that are critics of Trek specifically, and definitively negative. Now, it's possible to be a critic of Star Trek and not Fandom Menace. It's not possible to be Fandom Menace and not a critic of Star Trek. So just because you're a critic doesn't mean you're Fandom Menace. Fandom Menace are the more toxic elements. They get it off of just outright hating. Some of the channels, I would say they do it for the views and the money because it's lucrative for them. Most of the channels, I think, do it because are in a hate circle that they don't even realize. We Are Starfleet is a response to the Fandom Menace. It comes specifically from Discovery, and We Are Starfleet We Are Starfleet's more diverse than Fandom Menace for sure. But the more toxic elements of We Are Starfleet will not accept any diversity of thought. If you don't like Star Trek Discovery, then you're obviously a racist. If you don't think every character in Trek should be homosexual, then you're definitively homophobic. Now, those are, again, the more extreme elements of We Are Starfleet. Most normal Trek fans, I would say, are center to leaning We Are Starfleet, generally. And again, you're going to find these elements. We Are Starfleet is more prevalent on like Twitter and StarTrek.com. And then Fandom Menace mostly has a power base on YouTube. I hope that defines it for everybody well enough, because that's as far as I'm going to explain it. All right, guys, we can get started. Benny Hooker is finally here. We can get started. Regardless of everything else, Discovery Season 4 is probably not happening due to Canada's lockdown alone. The actors can't even legally set foot. And yet, Zontar, they are filming and have been on set. But hey, you never know. I mean, it's just the actors saying that they've been filming, as well as people within the industry. Could be a conspiracy, though. Well, Zontar, you've been with the channel for a while, haven't you, buddy? I think you have. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do this, Zontar. I'm gonna do this because I like you. And Max Matthews, because Max Matthews has been here a while too. If they're filming, then they're breaking our laws. They're probably rendering effects. I don't, Zontar, I don't know. I can't. What I can tell you is that the actors have been talking about filming. There's evidence they've been filming. There's clips and stuff like that. Maybe it happened before the quarantine. Since I heard it a little while back, so maybe. While I wasn't subbed until just now, I just got the vids in my feed. Well, thanks, Jarrett. Welcome for being subscribed, buddy. If they film in Toronto, then no, they wouldn't be filming right now. We're in a hard lockdown. Well, guys, as I said, there's evidence that they have been filming. I didn't say that the evidence happened immediately right now. I don't know when the lockdown happened, but I love Star Wars Legends. Don't watch vids on new Star Wars. Love Trek, but not new Trek. What do you not like about new Trek, Bono Cat? I know some of season 4 was being filmed last year. Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's where it was coming from. I know there's evidence of it, and they're still working on it for sure. Put Discovery season 4 on hold and make 26 episode seasons of Lower Decks. Man, I'd be all for that. I would definitively be all for that. I wouldn't be surprised if film studios didn't listen to the laws either. Honestly, I would. It would not surprise me one tick if people were getting paid off to look the other way. Maybe making special effects as being counted as film. Dude, Zontar, they've been on set. Now again, when did this lockdown happen? What has it been since November, or did it happen 3 days ago? Because again, you're saying it's locked down. Someone else said it's 14 days. So if it's recent, it's quite possible they haven't been filming in that time. Additionally, you don't just. Well, first off, I don't know about Discovery. I cannot say mid-November. Okay, I don't know, Zontar. That seems pretty suspect to me. Because there's definitive evidence that they have been doing that. It's possible that, and it's actually on set. I wouldn't be surprised if they are doing it outside of the province, though. Discovery is self-glorifying garbage. Well, can you tell me more, Bono? Specifically, see, this is what I'm talking about, and I don't mean this in a negative way, Bono. So don't take this personally. It's more the sentiment. When I go to a YouTube video and I look it up, it's like Discovery is self-glorifying garbage. Okay, well, what about it? Give me specifics. Talk to me about it. Make me feel it. Hey, Laura, I hope you and your family are doing well. We're doing fine. Denzel, I didn't see your response. Did you get my letter? I'm a new/old subscriber. Recently returned for your Enterprise coverage. The reason I originally unsubscribed was that your videos from around 3 years ago were a bit mean-spirited. Yeah, I can see that. I've talked about that before. Generally, I've talked about this. Generally, that would have been around the time I was going through stuff with the destruction of my marriage. Was I divorced at that time? I may have been. It was around when Discovery was coming out, and that actually really got into my work. I was really very negative in my work because of that, and I didn't really realize it. They are shuttled from set to their hotel. They can't leave until lockdown is over. Many interviews confirm this from many productions. Okay, I would have to look into it. I'm not arguing with anybody, okay, at all. So Zontar, I believe you when you tell me there's a lockdown. I know they've been on set. There's evidence that they've been filming. I beyond that, I got no idea. All hail Empress Tilly. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So again, Zontar, I'm not saying you're lying or anything. I'm telling you what the two facts that exist. The shutdown in Canada, and there's evidence they've been filming. Beyond that, I got no idea. I thought this season's Discovery was the best so far. I'll say I wasn't happy with what caused the burn, but one bad thing doesn't make the whole season suck. I'd agree. I can't type fast or a lot. My wife gets suspicious. Oh, well, I understand that, Bono. I completely understand that. We'll just keep it on the down low. Don't give up totally on the negativity. I like listening. You can play. I'm gonna be me. So if I like something, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And I'm gonna use my humor to do it. And so, one of the things I stated when I did, when I started the channel, is I decided I was going to be me. I'm not going to be this professional person I'm not going to be like Trek Light, like Trek Culture Light. I'm not going to be Space Doc. I'm not going to be Templin Institute. I'm going to be a guy on the internet who just for the hell of it likes to have fun and likes to talk, and I'm gonna just be me. I I don't think I was me 3 years ago during the start of when Discovery happened. I think that there's a lot of anger in me. But, if I don't like something, I'm going to call it out. If I do like something, I'm going to call it out. Here's a 20. Could do a breakdown of Captain April through Kirk, their careers, and personal life. I'll write that down. I'm not sure how much information's on April. I'll definitely look at it. If location lockdown is an issue, they could use CG, green screens, and deep fakes. They could. And I think there's some evidence they've done a little bit of that. I'm not sure, though. I'd watch a more in-depth analytical breakdown of the We Are Starfleet saga. I don't like toxic stuff in my life, so I'm not going to look. Also, I don't know why I can't donate even dollar amounts. If you're on phone, they won't let you. And I have no idea why they won't let you. I'll put that towards a breakdown of We Are Starfleet. Again, I kind of talk about them a little bit in my Fandom Menace breakdown, but I'll definitely start that. You seem like the Star Wars Explained, but for Trek, and I like that about your channel. Well, I'm glad you like it, Big Say. My channel likes you, good sir. Discovery needs more Tig Notaro. She's cool and the best character on the show. I like Tig too. She's not going to be showing up as much because of COVID, though. Talking about that. I think Zontar, did you say something? If there is filming on Ontario sets, they need a special waiver, which they may have, but I haven't heard of them having that. Oh, okay. I know there's evidence that they've been filming beyond that. I do on-screen stuff, in-canon stuff. The really only reason that type of thing, and it's not Choose on Tar, it's more like that Babyface dude or Nerdrotics or whatever. I get frustrated when people who aren't in the industry and don't understand how things work try to say something is the way it is or try to say it's canceled. When if you know anything about the industry, that is not what that means. And that's not what you did. But the only times I really get frustrated with that is just because I'm in the industry. In my opinion, if you swap Disco Season 2 with Season 1 with minor continuity changes, it would have been much better from the get-go. Yeah, I agree, Maisie. I think Season 1... Here's what I think happened. This is just me. They had a lot of behind-the-scenes issues, first off. That didn't help. Secondly, they knew what they wanted. This is just my opinion. There is no hard evidence I'm aware of. They knew that they were going to go full diversity on this. They knew that they were going to be very, very pro-diversity, pro-LGBT+, very walk the walk. And I truly believe CBS and Star Trek wanted this. However, the way they did it came out very mean, very, very insulting, very attacative, very toxic. In the most eccentric ways, in just unreasonable ways, and I don't even know that they meant to do that. I think that was just they tried something and they went too far hard on it, and so they realized that mistake. And in Season 2 of Discovery and on, they were still pro diversity. This is what we want Trek to be. This is a more outreach type thing, but more inclusive from Season 2 on. That's the way it looks to me. And I think for the most part, for those who have an open mind to it, who can just let it go, I think that it can be seen, and I think that people can enjoy the most recent bout of Trek, because I think the most recent bout of Trek is actually inclusive to everyone with a obvious bent. Season 1 was not. Season 1 was definitively not that. Now that's my opinion, and I don't have any evidence beyond what I see. That's just what it is. Jordan Bracanto, you deserve 100k subs. Well, thank you. You deserve 100k subs, sir. That's the big problem here. In Macross, there's a warship called the Oberth class. It's also made from Explodium and predates Star Trek 3 by 2 years. An odd coincidence. Well, isn't Doesn't all Star Trek do is steal from everything else? Isn't that what we're supposed to be upset about in Disco Era Trek? So, I mean, wouldn't Legacy do that too? I don't hate Trek. I love Trek. What CB put out is not Trek. It's woke trash. I rest my case. Mr. Security, that's actually not a case, and that's one of the problems with both 4chan and Fandom Menace channels. See, evidence would be pointing to things that we can objectively take a look at and then break down. So, for instance, Mr. Security, it would be like me saying, look, I don't hate you, Mr. Security. I, in fact, love you, but the fact you sexually assaulted me is a problem, and so you should go to jail. So you're going to come back at me and say, where's the evidence? And I'm going to say, I don't need evidence. It is quite obvious that this occurred. You see what I'm saying? Which Galactica do you like? And I mean the Battlestar. I'm an original fan. To me, the reboot looks like the Tiger Claw. I'm a reboot all the way. I like Reimagined. In fact, Battlestar Galactica I got into and did a complete series breakdowns because of Reimagined. The original series just does not impress me. And that's not to say that if you like it, that's a bad thing or I think it's horrible or whatever. But for me, Reimagined is my Battlestar Galactica. And, you know, on that was kind of a moment for me, I think. And I think I was looking at Reimagined, and it made me think of Disco Era Trek. You know, for some people, the Trek they've seen is Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, you know, whatever. And they like that, but they don't like the Legacy. I can respect that. I can understand it from the Reimagined standpoint. This is not your father's Trek. Yes, our Trek was good. Okay. I'm a fan. Star Wars question topic video request. Planetary egress points. Why not coming out of hyperspace early enough to mini jump to planet to avoid traps and interdictors? Planetary egress points. Why not coming out of hyperspace early enough to mini jump to planet to avoid traps or interdictors? Well, one of the problems is that you don't know that the traps or interdictor classes are there. Some people don't know this. This channel originally started out as Star Wars. And while I've always loved Star Trek, originally my main love was Star Wars. So I watched the hell out of everything Star Wars. I think there is evidence, at least in Legacy, of them falling early to avoid interdictor and traps. And I don't know if there was mini jumps because of the way the gravitational work does. Because gravity screws with your ability to do hyperspace jumps. I feel like they've done that before, though. I mean, I can put it in the hopper, though. I can do a breakdown of that. The Fandom Menace makes it hard to be a fan of Trek and Star Wars right now, but I will not give up on both franchises. Big Say Productions, my lad, stop watching them. Stop watching them. Okay, everybody stop typing. Stop typing. This is just me and Big Say Productions. If these specific videos, these specific YouTubers are stealing your joy from watching Star Trek, stop watching them. And that goes for me too. I tell people that all the time. Hey, if I take away from your enjoyment of Trek, if me breaking it down and pointing out every little thing doesn't make sense takes away from what you like about Trek, unsubscribe. I can show you a video if you don't know how. Don't watch something from people who steal your joy. And if you're trusting them and you don't think you're going to like what you're watching because of what they say, turn it off and watch it for yourself. And watch it for at least 5-6 episodes before you turn it off. Don't let them steal your joy. Kurtzman stole your Trek joy. He ruined your childhood. That's just fact. Fandom Menace is a group of channels that are hypercritical, unreasonably so, most of them, unreasonably so, of Star Trek, and they're just not honest. They're just not. There's no other way to say it. What are some Fandom Menace channels? I'd rather watch them. Well, Aaron Shaw, I would suggest going to Doomcock. I would suggest going to Nerdrotic and Mecha Random. Those are the three that I would specifically suggest for you to go to. If you'd rather watch them, do not let the door hit you on the way out. Hold on. How to unsubscribe on YouTube. What are we going to do here, boys? Filter this week. How to unsubscribe on YouTube. Here we go. I'm assuming this one will help you out. If you would rather go them and see me, that's the channel for you right there. That'll help you unsubscribe. Really enjoyed this series of Discovery. It's had its flaws. It did. Nobody Can Steal My Joy. I watched season 1 of Disco, and I didn't think it was as bad as I was told, but I felt so drained after watching. Here's what I would suggest, Jim Classic. I would be very interested, because I think you can watch season 1 and jump to season 3. I'd be very interested to watch 5 episodes of season 3 of Discovery, if you can, without having to pay for it, and give me your opinion. In all honestness, I think season 3 really fixes a lot of the concerns. Now, if you watch it and you still don't like it, fair enough. But a lot of people have actually liked season 3. I really think it's worth giving it a shot. Now, if you didn't like it before, I'm not going to tell you to go spend money. But, Laura, I don't hate Picard or Disco just to hate. I'm just fed up with what I see as dumb choices in the show. For example, season 3 Discovery Vulcan was called Vulcan before the split. So why change it when the Romulans return? First off, thank you for the support. I'm not drinking tonight, Jordan, no. Well, I'm drinking coffee. I'm not drinking alcohol. I think it makes sense to actually change it to Navarre. Someone actually called out, I forget what NI was, but Navarre was like NI, Vulcans, and Romulans. I think they were kind of doing a play on words. It would make sense to change the name of the homeworld, I think, when you have the two coming back together. I don't think that was necessarily silly. Now, if you don't like it, that's fair enough. See, this is one of the things that I think is some of the pieces that I'm actually looking for. Though I would say that's more... I don't think it's objective. I think it's based on personal taste. But if you're like, hey, I don't like this kind of storytelling, that's fair enough. Now, again, I'm going to push back and ask why that's a big deal. I think it would make sense. It seems logical. It seems like Vulcan logic to change the name to reflect the fact that it's a new planet. It's a new dawn. But if you don't like it, I can at least respect that opinion. It's not just saying, this is garbage. Bring back Buck Rogers. That's for sure. Maisie up in the house, spitting truths. Though one day I might get the huge honor of debating with Lore Reloaded. What would you want to debate? Geeks enjoy Nerdrotica. What specifically? What things of great repute? Bruce, you say that. Trek headcanon, all the time travel is why the timeline is a mess. Continuity, even in Legacy Trek, is insane. It just works, and that's just the way it is. It's like TOS has its own timeline here, TNG has its timeline here, and DS9 has its timeline here, and they just timey-wimey work just because they do. Allow me to be unequivocally clear in this. What about the season 4 cancellation rumors? They aren't rumors. They're fucking idiots who have no goddamn idea how the inside industry works. There's no legitimate source at all on the goddamn planet that has said that it has been canceled. They change names with productions for a myriad of reasons. Blue Harvest was an example, specifically when they're either trying to hide big things that are going to be happening, they're trying to throw you off the scent of the production, or because of internal issues that they are occurring. Additionally, there has been no one of actual repute that has even hinted at that. We have actors talking about recording season 4, and additionally, we have producers and cameramen who are there with footage that exists on it. Also, we know that all of these people are full of shit because they have no idea what happens when you cancel a actual series in the 2020s, in the now, you don't just scrap everything and throw it away. You did in the 1960s, which is why I know you're full of shit and just looking at things that happened in the past, not the future. You actually reuse a lot of the sets. If you have never noticed in science fiction, there are a lot of props that come from a lot of different things. Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of these people amazingly have the exact same types of technology and props because they reuse every one of them. Now, that isn't specific to you. That's just me being frustrated with the people who are saying that it's canceled with no evidence that stands up to any kind of muster within the industry. So I even forget who said that, but I hope that answers that. I don't think there's any validity to these season 4 cancellation rumors. I would say their sources are 25% reliable. They are. I would say that too. I would say they are 25% reliable. What's your opinion on Michael Burnham's role in the show? Her overacting and many crying moments. I don't understand why people get upset about the crying moments. First off, I don't think they're as bad as people say they are. I don't think. Personally. But I don't even think she's overacting. She actually has emotion. She's giving a range of opinions. I don't know. It's me, LDG Pixels. Anything Trek related? Is Picard still Picard? How Discovery Season 3? Why'd you change your name? I didn't know that was you, LDG. Did something happen to your other channel? I think it's the canceling of syndications worldwide. I need more information on that. I don't... It's possible that syndication or replaying, the older ones, was canceled. I haven't heard anything about that. Props get reused, but do sets get reused? Sets will generally be, in this point in this day and age, they'll be broken down, and whatever can be used can be used. Now, some of it gets thrown away for obvious reasons, but a lot of it gets recycled. Dude, calm down. It probably isn't canceled. So you're new to the channel? Generally, I get passionate. I'm not mad. I get passionate, though. I have to agree with the other guy about changing Vulcan in the reunion. It's unlikely to happen given the two worlds have become their own cultures and traditions. I think when they come together, they actually would change name. I disagree. I honestly do. LDG Pixels, it's my second channel, my entertainment one, where I do waiting room show. Ah, cool. Cool. Well, I mean, and I missed it. What would you like to disagree with me on? What would you like to debate? Did you ever see the live-action Gundam movie where all sets turned to alien sets for SG-1? I did not. I'm going to have to do that. Passion down. Bring it down. That's what you guys watch me for. You guys try to trigger me on purpose. That's a growing thing. Y'all deny it, but you do it on purpose. Dollars to donuts. In future episodes, people are going to say that because they know it gets me off, and it's just the funniest thing. I don't even know that I... What was it? You said The Expanse? Where was it? When The Expanse was... First off, The Expanse was canceled? Oh, they got picked up again, didn't they? Oh, it's been canceled again? That sucks. I really like The Expanse. Where did you see the set was destroyed? I'd be interested in looking into that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'd just be interested to see that. It makes, and I'd be interested to see why. Because again, a lot of the industry standard these days is to reuse and to recycle as much as possible. Because again, these are multi-billion dollar sets. So throwing it away, you can make more money selling it to somebody else. It makes no sense. She was raised on Vulcan. Emotions should be difficult for her. We're in season 3. She has lost her brother and her entire family. She is human. So her actually having emotions at this point. And remember, it's been a year of her fending for her life. So I think it makes it come out. Wait a minute. So after the expanding Romulans have done, the survivors had to go to Vulcan? Oh, okay. Yeah, MCRN. That was confusing me. I didn't think they were canceled. So I think it would make sense after the Romulans have been completely, just for all intents and purposes, scattered to the winds, that at least some of them would rejoin Vulcan. One of the actors tweeted that all the sets of the Rosie had been disposed of. Okay, again, if you guys say it's destroyed, I believe you. I'm not saying you're lying. I am curious if maybe when they said disposed of, they meant the process. Again, some of it would obviously be destroyed. I obviously don't mean that they sell every bit of it. But I would say that a lot of it was probably auctioned off or sent out. I mean, think about it, guys. You're a corporation, right? You have the Expanse or Star Trek or whatever. And there is, at a minimum, there's a niche there of people who really, really like it. So what, why wouldn't you sell it to fans or to other companies, other people? They don't have the space for all the sets. Well, of course they don't have the space for all the sets, but that doesn't mean there aren't other people that don't have all the space for the other sets, or fans you don't want to give it to, or they're not going to use it for other purposes. They don't just destroy everything. Hey guys, okay guys. So I'm not going to use this condo anymore. I'm getting a bigger house. I'm going to burn this condo to the ground. I don't have any use for it. Okay. This condo, don't like it. So I'm going to get a bigger house. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to burn it all to the ground. You're hotter than 7 of 9. Just saying, well, thank you, Beto. You're quite dashing yourself, my friend. Going to take it that the new Romulans from Star Trek Online is not part of the Discovery continuity. It is not. No. I want to say I've seen Gods and Men. What's that about? Oh, you're talking... I already did a makeup tutorial. I already did a breakdown of breakdown. Hold on. I did it with our boy Shane Dawson. Somebody featured that. Hold on. Lore Reloaded. Shane Dawson. Makeup lore. Shane Dawson's Mafia Makeup Empire. Right here. I did it because I was required to, because someone paid me to do it. I ain't even going to sit here and lie. Someone just had something that I guess was approved or they denied. I didn't get that it was a joke and thought, oh shit, this got dark. It says no. Oh. Kevin Owens. I don't know who Kevin Owens is. A lot of people say I'm Oxhorn. Is that Oxhorn? The girl I'm currently dating thought I was Oxhorn. She thought I had 2 channels. I don't know why. We both have beards and we're both overweight, I guess. So maybe that's why? I don't know. Who's Kevin Owens? Let's look it up. I don't have that many tattoos. No, unfortunately. I decided, Okuma. Okuma, I didn't see your first. That's 2 of 2? Where's your 1 of 2? Oh, here it is. Hello, Reloaded. This is my first time on here, and I want to say that I'm really enjoying this channel. A while back, I used to avoid you because of the titles and thumbnails. And then we'll come down to 2 of 2. I decided to give you a shot, starting with your old Star Trek Online videos. Thanks, and we'll be looking forward to more of your Dominion Borg War project. Glad you like it. There is a lot coming out. I actually have a audio doc coming out. It's going to be in the form of a personal log with Lacars and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. Some people don't like my humor, or they don't like how passionate I get, or whatever. But it's, if you like it, great. If you don't, I can address it. Associations are annoying. Fine you for not keeping your grass 1.25 inches tall. Okay. You share a resemblance to... we both have beards. I don't see anything beyond that, though. I'm going to be honest with you. Talk to you later, Tom Steve. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Well, I like you too, Stephen Baudet. We're sharing the love a lot in this, so I'm glad for that. I resemble Charlize Theron. What does Charlize Theron? That sounds familiar. Charlize Theron. Hello, nurse. Wow, she is exceptionally beautiful. I'm just saying, Maisie, that you don't resemble Charlize Theron. It is not possible. Charlize Theron resembles you. Charlene Theron is amazing, not the other way around. Lore is actually Doomcock without a spouse. That would be some stuff right there. That would be the ultimate deep fake. Playing both sides of it. Oh man, I can't hit his voice is way better than mine ever will be. I cannot pull that off. Anyone see Star Trek Farragut? That sounds familiar. Is that one of them fan fiction ones? I think I do watch fan fiction quite a bit. We've watched it ever so often. Yeah, we've seen that. Ooh, Vero Victus hitting that button. Thank you so much. I get told I look like Harry Potter. Well, you know, I would be a Potter fan too. I'm just saying. I bet you're the greatest looking Harry Potter that ever existed. You never see them both in the same stream. That's true. You don't see me, Doomcock, or whoever the other person he might be that is a neo-Nazi in the same stream, do you? It's true. Are you going to do a video on Moya? I stay away from Farscape. It's possible I'll one day get into that, but Farscape is like Doctor Who. It's pretty hard to plug in. I've never been able to keep it clear watching it. Bono Cat becoming a member. Thank you so much. Fanfiction. It's a summation of gods and men on that. I don't think I've watched that one. Maybe. By the way, Bono Cat, stay tuned. There's something pretty cool for members that's coming out in the near future. Farragut, gods and men. I don't think so. We'll have to do this as a fan film one, because I don't think I've seen this at all. Pretty sure Farscape writers took LSD. Maybe. These fan film bridge officers need gym memberships. I'll have to watch it. We'll have to watch it together. We'll actually have to do a live thing for it, because I usually will do that. Not tonight, because I'm about to go sleep, because I'm pretty tired. Oh, man, guys. I haven't really talked about it on YouTube much, but some people brought it up. My dog got out Saturday, I think, and he was gone all night, and I didn't know where he was, and I stayed up. Well, thank you, Bonica. I really appreciate that. That actually means a lot. I appreciate that. And so I was up and off trying to find him, and didn't really sleep all that well. Our version of Animal Control, it's called something else, but our version of Animal Control picked him up. I saw him in the looking for owner type thing. I went there and they were closed, and one of the officers came out and said I can pick him up at a specific time, and it's like he's been hit by a car, so there's that. And then they wanted proof that I owned him, and I didn't immediately have proof, but I knew he'd been hit by a car, so I was pretty stressed about that. And I was like, can I just pay you to send him? But I finally proved that he was mine. I then took him to the animal hospital, which was not cheap. His leg got really tore up, but there's no broken bones, and they think that it's going to be fine. And so it's just going to be a lot of watching him for a long time and giving him a lot of pain meds and just keeping him down for about 2 weeks or so. He's going to be, he can't go up or downstairs or anything. I'm literally carrying up and downstairs every day. And after 2 weeks, he should be able to go up and down stairs and stuff, but it's going to be months before he gets full operation on that. It's quite also. They also discovered that he may actually have heartworms or whatever the hell that's called, and so that makes using anesthesia a lot more interesting. And after we get to a point where we've got him on the mend for that, once we get past this initial bit, like a week or two past this initial bit, then we got to take care of the heartworms, which again is not going to be a fun-filled experience for him because he's had them for a little bit. Apparently that's something we missed, which makes me feel bad, makes me feel like the worst parent on God's green earth. But yeah, we're gonna get it all taken care of. He's gonna be well taken care of, and he's just had a bad couple of days. I feel you, Laura. I put my dog down on 12:30 the day you did your video for the Dominion War, making it was hours before you left me. It isn't easy. Yeah. So what's interesting about this, I think we'll end on this, and then I think I'm going to try to go to bed. What's interesting about all that is that I had 3 dogs. One of the dogs was a pit bull, and I got him for my girlfriend at the time, who became my wife. And then, like, almost immediately after we got married, we got the 2 dogs. The pit bull, her back legs were just gone after a while. She couldn't do anything with it, so we had to put her down. And I was actually with her because, again, these dogs are family, and so she was not going to die by herself if I had anything to say with it, right? So I was with her, and held her while she went away. I cried more during that time than I ever did with the divorce or loss of my parents. I'm weird. Second dog, she died due to something that was going on in her chest. But I was with her when she died. Took her to a hospital. I knew she was dead. She had to be. But still took her to a vet. She was dead. And then, of course, him. He's like 11, 12 years old. And so, yeah. Jaeger for Star Trek Online? I don't know what that means. I understand the pain of losing blood. Yeah, he's the last vestiges, I guess, of, like, with the exception of the kids, obviously. He's the last real vestiges of someone who was there during the marriage and everything. So, that dog, it's funny because, I love him and everything, but in all actuality, he makes my life so much harder because I can't go places, like I can't travel extended without getting him taken care of. We live in a condo, so I have to take him out to dog parks and stuff like that. But I give him the happiest home possible. I think he is happy here, but when he goes, it's going to be a sad day too. Dog's going to be okay. But thanks for saying it, Keegan. Unless something major happens that we miss. But I think we're going to end it with there. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.